All right, everyone, welcome back into another Fantasy Golf video. Going to be breaking out round 4 here of the Cognizant Classic. We are getting one really good three-way bet that I'll touch on here in this video. We're also getting some pretty good edges right now for underdog prop bets. Now, also in this video, we're going to be covering the round 4 showdown. We're going to touch on who is most likely to win as well. So if you guys want to find some live bets, we'll be touching on that. We're also going to get into all the three-way bets that we have possibly on today's slate. We're going to get into some PrizePicks prop bets as well as some head-to-head bets there as well. So with that, guys, let's go ahead and jump on into it. So guys, I do want to start off with kind of just taking a quick peek at the weather report here for tomorrow here. And so looking at it, the wind has stayed about the same. I think in terms of weather conditions, the worst that we saw was from yesterday or Saturday, depending on when you guys are watching this. But in terms of how the course is going to play, how the course setup is going to be, this should be the most difficult. Pretty much, guys, the birdie or better average in round 4 has typically been around 3.5 to 4, but the scoring average has been around 0.5 under par. So really not that great, right? So we are going to be expecting more difficult scoring conditions. And guys, we should be looking at some of these prop bets here that we are getting to kind of establish really our expectations for the round. This is going to be true with DraftKings Sportsbooks as well, some of the lines that they are giving us. So one interesting one here is going to be Jake Knapp. Jake Knapp and his line is fascinating here. Okay, so obviously he's the guy that's most likely to win. He's the odds-on favorite currently right now. PrizePicks currently has this line at 71. Underdog has this line at 70.5. At 70.5, if you were to look at, maybe DraftKings Sportsbook, their odds are currently favoring the over pretty heavily there. So the chances are he is going to shoot even par. That is what the data is telling us to do. And so maybe if we're thinking about placing live bets per se, you could find an edge by, going down that path. And if we're doing that, someone like Russell Henley would make sense as a good live bet who, looking at his correct odds, if you will, given the expectations for round 4, Russell Henley would be a good option to potentially jump on for a live bet. Now, he is coming from behind, right? He's 2 back, and so he'd only be picking up 1.5 strokes here, essentially, right? But either it's going to be 2 strokes or 1 stroke is kind of what the day is telling us with that 0.5, right? We would have to pick which side we would want to be on it. So definitely interesting there for maybe potentially live bets, but that's kind of the player that I think is most likely to push based off of some of the, prop odds that we are getting. And in terms of like prop line differences, guys, a decent edge bet that we have right now is actually just doing Jake Knapp and Patrick Rodgers for over the strokes. Per, again, kind of some of the sportsbook data that we have coming in, those are actually going to be pretty good bets. Now, when we compare it against the PrizePicks lines, not exactly crazy. And compared against the 9-5 data, it doesn't love those as much. But those are not terrible bets, per Vegas. Now, if we're looking at some of the bets that we are getting here, guys, these are all decent here. So Jake Knapp to get to 4 birdies. The issue here is I don't really think he's that likely to get over 4 birdies. Again, kind of the average is about 3.5 to 4 in round 4. So it is tough to see him getting over that. Same thing with Joe Highsmith. Jordan Spieth for under 4.5 birdies or better. I could see myself getting behind that one. Now, what surprised me, again, just looking at some of the sportsbook data, they're basically giving that a 50-50 split here. So definitely interesting there. Then I will say we are getting some interesting lines here for like maybe fairways hit. Ben Griffin to get over 7.5 fairways hit. That's okay. Same thing with JJ Spawn. Those are okay, but now we're starting to get a little bit too low on there. Let's actually take a quick peek at underdog as well. And then just some other okay bets that we can begin to. I'm looking at underdog again, guys. Billy Horschel for over his strokes. That one's kind of popping. Matthew Pavon for over his strokes here. Again, compared to PrizePicks, that's a slight edge for us. Patrick Rodgers for over his strokes. And so we're just taking advantage of these slight prop line differences that we are currently getting on underdog. And those are going to be some of the better bets that we were getting. So I'm actually going to go ahead and show you guys the underdog by the day. I just want you guys to do 2 slip bets off of this. I'm going to show you guys kind of the full slip, but we should be doing just a 2 slip bets off of these because when you start to combine them, once you start to combine these guys for the bet of the day, the payout becomes significantly more reduced. Okay. And so this is like the whole reason why I want to be attacking some on that, new betting, well, not new betting site, but better, where as it sits right now, we're not getting any PGA prop bets. But if we are combining a lot of the bets together, guys, if we were to run this slip out, the reduction in the payout is somewhat of the same for the full slip. But for 1 bet missing and 2 bet missing, you're still getting the full payout and better, whereas on underdog or PrizePicks, you are not. So that is where we want to be taking advantage of those. But again, for this, guys, we're just going to be attacking these, kind of pairing these together. So if you guys like one of these, by all means, go for it. I would say start with the strokes props and work our way down. And real quickly, if you guys want to sign up for better, they're not giving us PGA odds just yet. They probably will be in about an hour after this video is uploaded. Make sure to use the link in the description below. It's an easy way to help out the channel, and that has been a decent spot. And as well, if you guys are looking to sign up for Underdog, you guys have never done so before, make sure to use the promo code 925 as well. I'll give you guys a 50% deposit match, so very good value there as well. Take advantage of that, guys. Again, easy way to support the channel. And so now that gets us into the showdown picks. Okay, we're going to work our way into kind of live bets, and we'll jump into some round bets as well, kind of more traditional sportsbook bets. And so looking at this, guys, the top showdown play, as it correlates pretty heavily with some of those prop bets that we were just talking about, is Russell Henley. Okay, and so if he does end up shooting at 69.5, we are going to be sitting pretty. If he doesn't, then we probably won't be. That's kind of the issue for showdown purposes, guys, is that there's a lot of golfers that could climb, if you will. In that sense, we could be targeting golfers that can climb. And so let's actually just take a peek at the round 4 scoring average thus far in 2025. So we got Max McGravy popping up in there. He's not really a climber, but that certainly is interesting to note. He's in 8th place right now. If he ends up showing up in round 4, could he win? Could he win? That's the question I'm asking myself, but he's going to be a decent round 4 showdown play for us. And we got some climbers here, like Jordan Spieth could climb up into the top 5. And why is that important? Because we need to be concentrating on those position points, obviously. And so we have even like Keith Mitchell, guys. I'm not saying it's going to happen. You would argue he is due for a good round. He had a double bogey and a bogey back-to-back. And that kind of sunk his whole round. He ended up playing fine, I would say. Other than that, you take away that and maybe add a birdie, and we're looking at a pretty good round, and you're gaining all those position points. If he were to climb up into like a top 15 place position and give us those position points bonuses, that's pretty darn huge. And so I don't mind the idea of targeting someone like him. That might be a little bit too far out, though. Okay, he could go low. We saw a bunch of golfers go low. We are expecting a more difficult Sunday setup. I don't think we're going to see like -7, -6 out there. Okay, maybe -6, maybe -5. I think that's what we should be banking on for a golfer, and then trying to get lucky basically with the position points. So closer to like the climbers we could be on, Alex Smalley, Minwoo Lee are going to be better options there. But what's popping up, guys? We got Russell Henley and Michael Kim as 2 pretty good round 4 scores. Daniel Berger's there, and also Substraka, but I think they're a little bit too far out. There's still going to be players we're going to be on for showdown purposes, but I did want to call that out there as well. So we are getting a lot of big name players that are also still going to be good round 4 showdown plays. And for what it's worth, guys, if we take a peek here at the golfers that are currently the most likely to win, Jake Knapp, number 1, Michael Kim, number 2. So basically right on par with what we are currently seeing. Doug Gim is like the one player win rank wise that is actually expected to fall off a bit. And so again, that's going to be reflected in the data. And so if he doesn't, if he actually has a good day, that's going to mean bad things for showdown purposes. So I did want to call that out. Just on the note, like Ricky as well, maybe not the best round 4 showdown play. He's in 6th place right now, ranking out as about the 9th most likely to win, which is fine. Joe Highsmith as well, not expected to play well. We got Max McGravy. This is interesting. So win rank, part of it is actually going to be Vegas data here as well, which is fascinating. So Vegas doesn't like him, although he has played well thus far, round 4 rank wise. So that's definitely an interesting one that's popping up. I think that is noteworthy. And so, guys, let's go ahead and just pull up the 9-to-5 lineup builder. We can see who are going to be the best values right now. It's actually EVR at almost min price, Matt Kuchar as well. I don't know if I exactly want to get to those golfers, but like again, Max McGravy, I'm actually perfectly fine getting to. I might actually raise his projection up a little bit. Hopefully that round 4 scoring doesn't end up being true. Now the issue is a lot of the good values are going to be 6K plays. I don't know if we exactly need to be doing that. We are getting soft enough pricing elsewhere. If we look at the top projected plays, guys, Russell Henley, 1, Ben Griffin, Substraka, Michael Kim, Daniel Berger, Jake Knapp up there as well. Jake Knapp is pretty cheap. He's going to be pretty chalky. So if he does end up shooting 71 and he doesn't win, is he going to pay out that price tag? Probably not, right? So it's very interesting there. We could go like a very studs and duds lineup, bet on Straka, bet on Henley, or bet on Henley, bet on Berger to have good round 4s, and then pair that with some of those values that are popping up. That could be an interesting dynamic of the slate. But we'll go ahead. We'll get this 2 data points to go off of. I'm going to round up from Henley, and then, I don't know, I'm going to round up on Keith Mitchell, who's not popping up at all. Now, I do want to call it, guys, someone like Denny McCarthy is not going to get really good projection points because his likelihood to give us bonus placement points is very low. Okay, so he's really not popping up there. That's why that's there. If you guys think he is going to, like, all right, no, he's going to shoot -8, whatever, you could just pop him up and really tell the data that you want to be on, like 50 here. Okay, don't do that though. Round 4 wise, guys, actually we've taken down a showdown. A bunch of people 2 weeks ago were able to take down showdown using the tools. Myself as well had a very good day round 4 as well. And then last week, not that good for round 4, which was interesting because last week, round 1, round 2, and round 3 were all pretty good. This week thus far, about so-so across the board. Not so good underdog-wise. Haven't had any lineup pop, pretty much, is the issue. All kind of what you expect, but haven't had that really, really good lineup. And maybe that does occur for us in round 4. I do think it's going to be a little bit more random. So if you guys are, again, kind of using the 9 to 5 lineup builder, you could enter in a little bit more randomness to this. Maybe 5% randomness, which is a lot. I wouldn't really do that, but maybe that does up happening. Okay. But looking at this kind of the best lineup that we could put together is somewhat of a studs and duds one. It does like Brian Campbell, which is interesting. It is getting to Jake Knapp, JJ Spawn, Michael Kim, Russell Henley, and then Max McGravy. So I'm perfectly fine with that. Obviously, I bumped up Max's projections a decent amount there. So maybe the data doesn't naturally like that, but you guys get the general sense of what we are looking at here for Showdown purposes. And so let's go ahead and get into some live kind of bet talk. So I am on Russell Henley already as an outright bet. He is kind of my one hope this week. It seemed like Ryan Gerard for a second there was going to be a good one for us there. Very much annoying that right when he got into the lead, bogey double pretty much ended that. Now, maybe someone like him could climb as well. He's a local guy. Could end up seeing that happening. Maybe another local guy that was on a decent amount, Bud Cauley, gets it going. But that was super tilting, guys. That was very tilting. Literally, and the difference for me this week thus far, like main slate-wise, are the position points. Like when Gerard was in first, it ended up looking like a massive week. And then I didn't think that was going to continue, but I'm like, all right, top 5, we're looking at a pretty good week. And so round 4 is going to be super interesting to see how the position points end up changing, good lineups and bad lineups, because I saw a lot of roller coasters going on today with a lot of the bogeys and double bogeys that occurred. So it's going to be a fun day. I know the round 4. I know round 1 scoring was very low. Most people didn't like that. I myself, I'm kind of indifferent about it. I don't want it to play that hard. The rough should be thicker. You should get penalized for those bad shots. And so I'm definitely more on the side with that. I would like PGA National to play more difficult, as it should. It has played pretty darn difficult the last 2 days with the wind being up. But that being said, my goodness, this is the best, the most intriguing round 4 that we have seen for PGA National in some time, right? You can't deny that. It's kind of been a bore, and I think that's really why they had to. I don't know if the scoring was intentional, but I do think that it's going to end up being a good thing. At least I'm more intrigued, honestly, this week with all the names that are having a chance to win. I think it's a little bit more fun. Maybe that's just me, but I'm in line with everyone. It should play more difficult, but we are going to have an intriguing Sunday, especially if it does play more difficult, and the most difficult it has thus far this round in round 4. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. And it is an interesting narrative. Like, let's say Jake Knapp or whoever wins ends up shooting like -18. I think we would kind of be okay with that. I think we'd rather the winning score be around -12 or so. Like if the rough was thicker, more dense, I should say, it probably would be. But definitely, I think it's going to be a fun Sunday, right? But getting back into some live bets, Russell Henley is basically my one hope betting wise. And really, in a weird way, guys, I kind of expect him to win just with how betting goes, just with kind of the track record. Typically speaking, hitting about 20% of the bets throughout the years that I've done this, outright bets that I've done this. We haven't hit one thus far this year. We've had multiple chances, multiple guys in contention coming into the Sundays, and it hasn't happened. And so kind of just natural regression there, just in general. You would expect someone like Russell Henley to come through. Now, obviously, the odds don't necessarily say that for this tournament, but just generally speaking, that should start to happen more. Even if it doesn't happen this week, probably if we have a guy close to winning maybe next week, it probably will happen. But that's my long way of saying, if you guys didn't bet Russell Henley, not a bad player to jump on. From there, I don't know if we necessarily need to get to anyone else. I don't think it's that worthwhile. It does, to me, kind of feel like Jake Knapp's going to win. At the same time, Michael Kim was someone that popped. These golfers are kind of the typical winners of this tournament, as I stated earlier on this week. I'm like, there are so many golfers that they're kind of shoulder shrug plays and options where they're good enough. You could see them winning, and that has been the winner the past 3 years. And so it's not too shocking. Kind of my long way of saying I probably wouldn't want to jump on a live bet necessarily. And I don't think so. Unless you didn't bet Russell Henley, then I think that could be the option. And if you are someone that maybe bet on Jake Knapp, maybe even Michael Kim, I think you could hedge a little bit and get to Henley as well. That's the only route I would do that. Now, real quickly, guys, we are going to jump into some three-way bets. So the one that I teased earlier was Keith Mitchell. So again, we're going to move the edge slider up to an even or to above 0 edge for us. We're gonna do the matchup odds. We don't even need to do that. It's a three-way bet. We're factoring in ties as well. The best one that we were getting is Keith Mitchell to win his matchup. Okay, the odds are pretty low. He's the favorite in this one, but we're getting a pretty good edge on that one currently. And then these other ones are interesting. The biggest one per the 9-to-5 data, Taylor Montgomery to win over Joe Highsmith, which is interesting there. Francesco Molinari to beat Christian Bazunhout as well. Now, we are not going to do well if these end up tying, right? That's a big factor with the three-way bets. Okay, that's the issue, obviously. You know, in round 2, we had one chopped, one full hit, and then one miss, which was annoying. Zach Johnson's shooting -5, and he doesn't win us the 3-ball. That was annoying. I think it was Matthew Pavon getting us with that one. That was annoying. They're all decent. And then in terms of matchup bets right now, maybe DraftKings here, where we are seeing Patrick Fishburne beating Cummings there. Not exactly a bet that I feel like we need to get to -120. That's at those odds. Eric Van Rooyen to beat Charlie Hoffman. Not a bad one there as well, but we are starting to get too low. DraftKings there. That's kind of the best edge bet that we have. If you guys want to do Patrick Fishburne, you can do that. One decent bet there. All right, guys, so that's going to do it for this video. Make sure to give a like and subscribe to the channel. If you guys want access to all the 9-to-5 tools, head on over to 9to5sports.com. Get the best value in fantasy golf. Get access to all the tools for just $10 a month. Again, all the tools are already curated for you guys, so you get access to all the tools for $10 a month. Including that is going to be some of the prop tools as well for PrizePicks Underdog. So if you guys are interested in that, you guys can take advantage of that. That's going to do it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel as well. Comment your guys' favorite bet if you guys have one. Thanks for watching. Good luck. And as always, let's keep cashing.